Happy Wednesday. I hope this finds your week faring well. It's sure moving quick with a holiday Monday. Tonight I wanted to dive into a topic. It's a topic that I always think that is important, but it's a topic that I find is even more important now, now that we're dealing with a worldwide pandemic. And it's a topic that over the past couple of months, I feel like I'm having a lot of clients that are having some issues and having some conversations with it. And that's why I just wanted to kind of bring it to attention tonight. As I said, in my opinion, it's always important, but it's even more important now. Now, as I believe everyone that's watching this knows, I work, I reside, and I am an expert in Chicago real estate. With that being true, a lot of my clients live in condo buildings. And with that comes a shared living space of sorts. Obviously you have your own units, but you have common hallways, common areas throughout. And with this, I always say, comes a little bit of responsibility for common courtesy. I think that living in a condo building, you have that. Realistically, even if you live in a single family home, you have that as well to your neighbors. But sometimes in a condo building, I think it's a little bit more prevalent because you are living in close proximity to people. Now, this is something that I always think is important. When you live in a neighborhood, in a single family home, when you live in a condo building, do unto others as you'd want done unto yourself. I think that that's a very easy to follow rule of thumb. I know it's more difficult for some than others, but I've always just kind of preached that that's important. When you get into a condo building, I think it's even more important because once again, you're sharing close proximity. Now, when you take those same condo buildings and you put them into a worldwide pandemic in which we are ordered to stay in our own homes, I think that the need for what I would call condo courtesy, condo common courtesy, goes through the roof because obviously people are getting stuck in close proximity, and for a long period of time there isn't as much ability to get out to do other things as we normally would have the ability to. And with this being said, I've had quite a few conversations with clients over the months that they're really struggling with some of the lack of common courtesy happening within their buildings. I would say outside of this pandemic, one of the biggest things that we tend to hear about is just noise from other units. With the way our construction is, even the newest of buildings, unless you're in a concrete steel structure building, you're probably going to have some level of noise. So we typically hear a lot about noise complaints. But the complaint that I feel is really kind of broaching its ugly head right now has to do with smoking. Cigarettes and marijuana, because obviously it is legal to smoke both in Chicago now. And I've just found that within people's homes, obviously because we're in them much more, they found that certain of my clients are really dealing with secondhand smoke issues that they either weren't happening in the home before, or maybe happening when they were at work, or whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of tension and a lot of issues that I'm having enough of my clients face dealing from people, their intimate neighbors, smoking. Now, obviously this is a hot topic because some people say, well, it's my own home, I have the right to live as I want and do as I want. And then others say, well, it's my own home, I shouldn't feel like I can't breathe, or I shouldn't feel like it's unhealthy for myself or my family in it. It's hard because obviously unless a building really wants to take a strong stance against it, people, unless you're in a smoke-free building, people are allowed to smoke. So I guess what I wanted to kind of just touch on tonight, even as things are loosening up and we're seeing the restrictions, we're hopeful that as we get into June, we're going to start kind of gravitating into phase 3. But the fact of the matter is that we're going to still be spending a good amount of time at home. So what I thought about touching on tonight was just a little bit of common courtesy within our living arrangements, kind of taking into account, acknowledging the fact that some of the things that we do in our home may be bothersome to other people. And you know what, if there was ever a good time to acknowledge that and maybe try and be aware and sensitive to that, I think those are things that could be really well received, because I absolutely think that people should be allowed to do what they do in their homes. But just like we wouldn't want somebody having band practice at 2 a.m. above our toddler's bedroom, we may not also want to be ingesting smoke, secondhand smoke, from that perspective either. So that was really it tonight. I just thought that was kind of a good message. Like I said, I've had quite a few clients dealing with this, very specifically within condo buildings, but also within, I think it's true within neighborhoods too, single family homes and stuff like that. I think just the condos, you're a little bit tighter, a little bit closer, and I think it becomes a little bit more prevalent when things are being done. So for those of us, wherever you are in the country, I just think that this is a time to be very cognizant of our actions while we're kind of stuck at home, living our lives the way we want to be living them, but maybe just be aware, and demonstrate some common courtesy to the neighbors around us. Let's really try and make the effort to make all of our times at home as good as possible, and not necessarily make anybody feel like they're in a unsafe environment or anything like that. So hopefully somebody will hear this. Hopefully this will open up somebody's eyes that maybe wasn't even thinking that they could be having a negative impact on people. I like to think that people don't do these things maliciously, from that perspective, and maybe, who knows, maybe they'll step out on the balcony next time they choose to smoke. On that note, it is hump day, so let's remember to take care of ourselves, take care of one another. Be kind to yourself, be kind to one another. Remember to stay grateful and proud of our first responders and our essential workers. We are seeing the numbers rise, and I think they're doing an amazing job of keeping even those that are getting sick as healthy as possible. I'm super proud of Chicago's death rate staying down, and it feels like in that respect we're really doing a great job. I am grateful for all of you. I am going to remember to be conscious of my own gratefulness in this, and I've just really appreciated you being a part of my journey. So I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Be well.